a million of those who won't let us be, but they're not gonna see me bleed. Cause baby, I got you. I've been beaten to the ground, dragged across the dirt. I've been scared to live cause some people never learn, but they're not gonna watch me burn. Cause baby, I got you. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco lights. They can try but they can never take me down. Ooh. Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I will tell them what I'm feeling forevermore. I don't care about the feelings, not anymore. So let's show them that love is pure, no matter who it's for. It's a new beginnings and a better life. It's the dancing underneath the disco light. They can try but they can never take me down. Cause I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love you. They always bring all the lonely, but with you here nothing can scare me. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid to love, not afraid to love.
pumping here on a Tuesday morning, and it's actually afternoon for some of you. Welcome to Q&A with the Hombre. I always love getting that music going there, getting the blood pumping, getting things ready to talk tequila and answer questions for you guys. Hopefully you're having a good week. I'm having a pretty good week, really excited. A little personal note, my daughter is kicking ass. She is doing so well. She's 16, been playing golf for just over a year. She moved from playing hockey. All of you guys remember she used to play ice hockey. Now she plays golf. I work with her a lot on it. And she shot her first below 40 score on 9 holes, which is in high school. They played 9 holes. She shot a 39, which is amazing. 3 over after a year of playing the sport, which is ridiculous. I'm so proud of her. So I wanted to share with that with you guys. Love my little girl, love my family. I'm a very big family guy, and I love spending my time with my daughter and watching her just grow and get better and achieve the goals that she wants to achieve. And so I'm really excited about that. She's doing really well. We have a match this afternoon that I'm going to run out and make sure I'm there to watch her and provide some support and stuff for her while she plays her high school match. So really excited about that. So wanted to share that with you guys. You guys are my friends, so I always share stuff like this with my friends. All right, so tequila stuff. As you know, the Dia de los Muertos edition of G4 Madera came out this week. We got it for Ferment and Still, and then it was offered to the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective members first. They bought most of it. Had a few bottles that we opened up to the public after they were done. A little on the pricey side at $399.99 was the price that was going for pretty much on the market right now. Suggested retail was $299.99, but it's listed for $19.99 and stuff like that, which is just ridiculous. Don't ever pay any prices like that for it. Seriously. But it's selling like crazy, and the little coffee box is cool. I can't wait. I ordered one, so I can't wait to get mine. And I should have one next week to talk about and do a review and show you guys. What else is going on? Well, we have the G4 6-barrel Añejo coming up. Supposed to land at the distributor here in Southern California on October 17th. That's going to be really big. They did things a little different in that they, fermented it and cooked the agave the same way, crushed it using the Dona, but they fermented it actually inside barrels using champagne yeast. And then after it was done fermenting inside the barrels, they then distilled it using what Felipe calls his little mezcal still, and they did it outside with propane fire underneath it, so it's direct fire. Where normally in the big stills they run steam through coils inside of it to charge the still and to get it up to temperature. This time they didn't use steam, they used propane underneath it and did it outside on a little still. So it's supposed to be really good. And from what the brand has told me, it's very complex and different. After it was done being distilled, it was then barreled, and they used two wine barrels, I think it was, and then 4 cognac barrels. So 2 French oak wine barrels and 4 cognac barrels. And so that was where the 6 barrels came from. So it should be really good. I'm looking forward to trying it. I'm waiting for it'll come out. The suggested retail price on it, from what I was told by the brand, is he believed $149.99, which isn't too bad for a special edition Añejo like this. But I'm hoping it doesn't get crazy on the pricing from the retailers. As soon as someone says something's allocated and the retailers, have to only get allotted a certain amount, that's when the whole thinking process of hey, we should get as much as we can for this and charge as much as we can that people are going to pay for it. Because what basically happens, this is kind of, I'm one of the only people that's like one of the reviewers and tequila educators that's been around as long as I have. Everyone else is fairly new. They've come in like during 2020 and stuff was when a lot of them basically came about and trying to get his free tequila and stuff by doing reviews. I was actually doing this way before, back as far as back as 2016 is when I pretty much started. And before then, it wasn't like this. It really wasn't. It was, you know, like a special edition, like the Lope 42A, when it came out, it was $89.99 for that in Añejo, which was like a regular price, which you'd pay for on the store. The Añejo went for right around $90, regular price. So when that came out, it was regular price, and people were buying it like crazy. But what then happens is then people buy it all. You got these guys that hoard it, right? And the next thing you know, they're in Facebook groups, and people are like, "Oh, I wish I would have gotten a bottle of 42A or 43A." They both were pretty much the same, but they split it into two batches. And people were like, "Oh, well, I've got an extra bottle, and if you want it, I'll sell it to you for $300." You know, and so the next thing you know, you see these people are like, "Yeah, I got a bottle, but I paid $300 for it." And all the retailers are in these Facebook groups. They're all in the groups watching, seeing what's happening. And they're like, "Hey, well, why are people spending $300 from customers I sold it to?" They're then turning around and making 3 times more than what I made on it. Why is that fair, right? I'm the one that has to pay for the liquor license. I'm the one that has to pay for the retail store. I'm the one that had to buy the inventory in the first place. Why shouldn't I make that money? So they've gotten smart. And so now they're doing it. They're saying, well, people are probably going to turn around and sell this anyways for more. Why not I do it? So they mark the prices up and they sell it for more. And that cuts down on the aftermarket people because, you know, when they buy it, if they're paying, you know, $3.99 like for this repo for it, how high are they going to try to sell to make a profit on it, right? So the retailers got smart, and that's what they're doing. So you can't blame them, because originally they weren't making the money. All the gray market guys were, and the gray market has ruined it for everybody. And it's the same with the winter blend stuff too. So I know a lot of people were upset about the pricing on it. It is expensive for repo, and it's the box that's really costing the money for that, and why the price is so high on it. It's not because they priced the tequila that high. So suggestions, if you got a bottle of the regular Madeira, this is something that I'm doing. This is a regular Madeira, but look at the color of that. I put a Beyond Barrel aging stave in it. Now this particular aging stave for me was used to age a Chardonnay wine that I did from frozen grapes that I bought from a winery. So I used this as the... I used 3 of them to age the wine in a 5-gallon carboy. So this was soaked in Chardonnay when I put it in here, but look at the beautiful color that this has gotten now on it. I put this in the bottle on 9/14. It is, so September 14th. It's French oak, because I use French oak for wine. It's always typically French oak. But look at the color. Doesn't it look amazing? So I haven't done a taste yet. So what do you guys think if I do a little tasting right now for you? I'll let you know where it's at. Because it's 9/14, and that puts it at what? Let me see. October. Let me look back at September. 9/14, 1, 2, 3 weeks. Exactly 3 weeks. 3 weeks today. So, it looks beautiful. 3 weeks. So, should I do a little tasting, you guys? What do you think? Well, let's see. If you guys think I should do a tasting, I'll do one. But let me check in with our subscribers now, though, and just say hello and catch up to where we're at here. Hey, how you doing? Sip, savor, and celebrate. Bienvenido, welcome. Glad you can make it. Hola. Hola, Travis. Glad you can make it. He's one of my blind, high-proof blinders. Hey, Hombre, happy blind tasting day. Thank you, Ruben. That was actually last week. But you can have a blind tasting today. Hey, Hombre, will you be putting the video of the blind challenge up somewhere? No, I'm not going to be doing that because with Instagram Live, if you don't save it right away, it goes away. So I don't have a copy of the video, so I can't put it up. But I'll keep the rest of them since people want to see it. The rest of the blind tastings that we do, I will keep them. I will post them so people can watch them if they want. And I'll announce the next blind here today, here in just a little bit. So, Que pasa, hombre? Salud, Ricky. Glad you can make it. Sip, savor, and celebrate says, get it. Yeah, I was dancing. I was having a good time. I wish he would. I was working when the live. Oh, yeah. I'll keep the lives from now on. I'll post them. People normally don't want to see a lot of that stuff. I get a lot of complaints because of like the live streams and stuff. People are like, "Yeah, it's boring." So I didn't save it, but I'll save them going forward. Hey, Miguel. Hola. Bienvenido. Welcome. Congrats to her. Thank you so much. I'm very proud of her. Yes, thank you. Hey, Vera. Bienvenido. Welcome. Glad you can make it. Just started off playing golf 3 months ago. That's an awesome score she got after a year of playing. I can barely hit the ball. Yeah, it's a rough sport, Samuel. It's definitely a rough sport. It's very hard to learn, and you have to take patience and a lot of work. And we spend a lot of time at the range and working with her swing and stuff. And she's doing really well. And I think the transition from hockey to golf really helped her out a lot too. So, hey, Curtis, bienvenido, welcome. Glad you can make it. Hey, Miguel, beautiful. Yeah, isn't it look great? It looks great. I was like, yeah, look at the color coming out of it. And this was a previously used stave, so it wasn't new. Which aging stave? This is a French oak number 3 from Beyond Barrel Aging Staves. So if you go to bbaging.com, you can see the staves there. But keep in mind, this was a used stave. This was used. So this would probably be darker if this was a new stave, since some of the oak essence and stuff got out in the wine, which is what I was looking for. But it was definitely filled with Chardonnay when I put it in here. All right, we got 1 vote for Taste It. Okay, cool. Dang, I thought that it was this week. Which tequila? Well, it wasn't about what tequila won. It was more about just doing a blind tasting. It wasn't about to see which tequila was the best. One time today, happy Tequila Thursday. Yes. On time today. Yes, you are on time. Happy Tequila Thursday to you too, El Mexico. Bienvenido, welcome. Yeah, taste it at its repo stage. Okay, I'll do that. 3 weeks, it's 9 months. I'm on time today. Happy Tequila Thursday. Taste that, babe. Okay, let's do the tasting. Okay, now that we're caught up with everybody, let's do a quick tasting on it. Now, keep in mind, it's, hasn't had time to marry and stuff, so I'll probably let it sit for a little bit. Let me see if we got it clean. This one looks clean. Yeah, that's clean. Didn't use this one. I cleaned it for a review, but I ended up only using 1 glass. So let's do a little taste on this. This is 3 weeks, right? With the G4. Looks really good in the glass. There's no wood pieces floating in it or anything. Look at that. Oh, it smells so good. These staves work so well, and you get such good aromas and flavors and stuff from them. Yeah, definitely get this cooked agave. Some like notes of sweet fruit, like cherry in it, sweet berries even. Vanilla, caramel, a hint of butterscotch in there. And it has a really neat, interesting, like grapiness to it too from the Chardonnay. So definitely picking up some of the Chardonnay notes in it. It smells good. All right, so let's see what we get on the taste. Wow, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. I'm definitely getting cooked agave and stuff. Ton of it up front. Vanilla in there, caramel, butterscotch, and then this really nice, almost like green apple tart fruitiness that's coming in the middle of it from the Chardonnay. Hint of sweet cherry in there as well. This is good. This is really good. I'm definitely going to enjoy this. I think I'm probably going to pull the stave out of this and let it mellow a little bit, because it's still a little rough because the stave is still in it. But I think this is going to be really good once it has a chance to kind of marry and settle. So I'll pull the stave out of this later today and then let it sit for a couple weeks. And then we'll do another tasting on a live stream, or I'll do it on Instagram or something. So, but it's really good. So this is a one way you can, if you want to try, if you want to make a repo yourself, this is one way to do it with the aging staves. And then you don't have to spend the $400. Beyond Barrel, it's bbaging.com. Their staves are great. They come in little tubes like this. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There you go. So these are great. You just plop it in the bottle. But keep in mind that these are new, right? So it's going to age a little faster. So you want to taste it like every week. So 3 weeks with a used stave, this is what I still got. And it sat in that wine for 3 months. Almost 4 months. And it still pulled good color and stuff out of it and taste for a second usage. So you can use these. I typically use these twice. So how many agave would I give this? Oh, I don't know. It's really good though. You know, how could I not give it anything but a 5 since I'm making it, right? and I'm making it to my preference. So, but it's really good. It's complex. The wood is there. It's actually getting less of the anise that came through on the second batch. I find that the second batch had a lot more of that black licorice anise kind of flavor to it, where after aging with this, I don't taste any of the anise at all. None of that bitterness is there. So it kind of aged it out of it, which is kind of nice. Instead, it's just that beautiful cooked agave. It's a little softer too. And you get the vanilla and caramel notes and butterscotch. And then that kind of light green apple wine kind of flavor that comes in it too. So, but it's really good. I think you guys will like it. You can age it yourself too. Buy the staves. I'm sure Chris will be on here later. He's the guy that owns the company. He does Beyond Barrel aging staves. They do a good product. I've tried barrels. I've tried a bunch of other different things in aging my own stuff at home. Even pieces of wine staves that I cut that we called dominoes. Not really as good. Not as good as the Beyond Barrel aging staves. He's got a good product, and I'm glad to let you guys talk about it and let you guys know about it. So. It was good. Yes, very nice. It's good. What high proofs were in the blind we did? It was the Cosecha 2018. It was the Lalo 55. It was the Carrera 54. And it was G4 108. Hey Austin, it was low 2. It was low 2. So it's, you know, when you look at the bottle, it says 5,063 of 12,096. So this is a low 2 bottle. I have aged a low 1 bottle. I think I still have it here. It turned out really good. Let me see if I have the low 1 here still. I was looking through the bottle, says, oh wait, and then I realized I aged it. Where is it? I think it's down here. Where is it? Oh, here. Is that it? No, that's it. Where is it? Oh, come on. Oh, here. All right, look at this. This is a low 1. See, this is a bottle 311 of 1,000. Come on, focus. There you go. Or 711, 712 of 1,000. So this is the one that I aged. And I did this with French oak on January 17th of this year. and I aged it for 6 weeks. So this is like, look at the color on this one. This is French oak as well. It looks really good. Should we taste this one now? See where this one's at? Ooh, ooh. Lots of French oak goodness on this. Ooh. That's really good. That's really good now. Wow. That's really good. I like that. It's like, it tastes like a pretty rich extra añejo, really. It's got that robust wood flavor profile, but there's still agave there. That turned out really good. So this was a French oak with like 6 weeks, the brand new French oak on the first load, the first batch. That's good. I mean, I love using these staves to age things, and I have a bunch of bottles of the original G4, so the original Madeira, so it's good. We didn't really do like which ones preferred, so different people like different things, but these were sample bottles, and when you do sample bottles, it's really not a fair evaluation for the the brand, so that's why I don't like saying which one was picked, because I sent sample bottles like this, and these get aerated, and you know, they go in the mail or shipped to people, and so it gets hot and cold. And so it's not a fair representation for the brand. And anytime you see anybody that does a review off of a bottle like this, just ignore it. It's garbage. It's blah. Because the flavors change when you put them in these bottles. It becomes a different tequila. So it could be worse. It could be better because it kind of gets softer, gets weaker. So it's not a really good, fair representation of what the brand tastes like. It's better, and that's one of the reasons why when I do reviews, when a brand says, hey, we'd like you to review my tequila, and they want to send me a sample, I say, sorry, I don't accept samples for reviews. In order to do review, you have to send me a full production 750 milliliter bottle. Sealed, not open, completely sealed as if it came from the store. And that way I get a fair representation of what the brand is like coming out of the bottle. Putting it in these wine bottles, it gets aerated because, you know, there's air in the bottle when you're putting it in through a funnel. Things get diluted, and it gets not diluted, but things get aerated, and it gets weaker and milder. And so it's not really a fair representation. But we just did this for fun, and so we're going to do the other ones for fun too. But it's not about picking which Blanco is better, because doing it out of a little bottle is not the way to do it. If you want to do a blind proper tasting, you do it in person with unopened bottles to start, and you open up the bottles for the blind tasting, you pour them in the glass, you top the glass off, and then you have them tasting there instead of sending little sample bottles. So we're just doing this for kind of a fun thing, to see what we get, and just to have a little fun doing something on Instagram. That's all. So I would never put any basis on any review where they put a picture of a sample bottle and a glass and say, this is my review of this, because it's all total and complete and utter bullshit. Because it's not a fair representation of what that tequila is like. And a lot of times, too, they don't even know if the person that sent them the sample really sent them the real tequila, whether the tequila was open in a bottle that has a lot of air in it. You know, it could, you know, the more air in it, the more oxidized it gets, the longer it sits on the shelf. So if I had an open bottle that I sent somebody a sample to, it's not a fair representation. And so only accept reviews from people who actually have the bottle. If you notice on all the reviews that I do on my channel, I open the bottles up. I open them up while I'm doing the review. They're brand new. They're not open. They're not aerated. I'm giving you the taste and stuff straight out of a brand new bottle. And I learned this because, like I said, I've been doing this for a lot longer than a lot of other people have. I actually buy the bottles, or they send them to me. So I want to make sure when I do a review that I'm giving a fair representation to the brand of what it's like, and not an aerated, diluted, profile that you get from a sample bottle. Good to know. Okay. A lot of people don't think about that. So, hey, Jan, everybody's late to, and you can tell, like, for example, like Jan can tell you, when we sent the Carrera out, I sent it from an open bottle, and it was not as robust and as full flavored as it is coming straight from a brand new bottle. And we figured that out when we were doing the tasting, because later other people pulled their bottles out that they had and said, yeah, there was a huge difference between the sample bottle one and the one that came out of the real bottle. So ignore people that they're just too cheap to get the bottle themselves for the review. Yeah, and and also, you don't know what they're putting in the sample bottles. You don't know if you're getting a sample of that exact tequila or not, or they could put something else in it and tell you it's it. I like to know what I'm drinking, and I like to know that it's going to be in its purest form. So I asked for a sealed bottle. Like, I'm going to be doing El Mexicano review soon. If you look, these are all sealed, right? These are all brand new bottles. Wax is still on them. This is brand new, all of them. So that's the extra añejo. This is the repo. This is the añejo, all sealed. And then I open them up as I do the review. All sealed. This is the high proof Blanco. All sealed. So that's what I require. And so the brands that send me the sealed bottles are the ones that get the reviews. And they get an honest review. So... Exactly. Yes, thank you, Chris. I figured some people would agree with me on this. Did Curiosity Public reach out regarding... No, they didn't. And I would do a blind tasting with them where they would do the descriptions and stuff and pick without me, having fun with them. Instead, I would just moderate it, but they have not reached out. And I would send them stuff from fresh bottles to see what they pick. But they have not reached out. I called out to them and have not heard back. So I don't know if they will. I have a fair share of haters, and some of my haters and stuff follow them, so they probably would say to them not to do it. But, hey, it is what it is. If they don't want to do it, it's their loss. We could have fun. It could be a lot of fun doing stuff with them, but, great points. I do agree. I like to open my fresh when I review. Yeah, exactly. Yep, for sure. The sample and a new bottle off the shelf was night and day. Yeah, see, it's because it's aerated. It gets aerated. It gets the air oxidizes it. It diminishes what the actual tequila was like brand new. So, yep, you like to open it. Great. Yes, I do. I love to open mine fresh too when I do the reviews. That's the best representation of the tequila. But we're gonna do 80 proof Blancos now. Is gonna be the next thing. So let's plan that for like in a couple weeks. So I'm going to ask for volunteers to be part of the panel. If you want to be part of the panel, send me a DM through Instagram saying that you want to be part of the panel and include your shipping address. And I'll pick 3 people to join me this time. We're going to do 80 proof Blancos. We'll have a little fun with it. It'll be cool. It'll be a lot of fun. And we'll do it on a night on Instagram Live, so you have to be willing to come on Instagram Live and do it. We did have Cole, Travis, and Jan. All 3 of them came on for the live tasting, and we had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We were picking on I think it was Travis. I think we were picking on Travis a little bit. because his internet was weak, and so he reminded me of glitching from what's her name, the Sugar Rush from Wreck-It Ralph, the little character that always glitches. He kept glitching a lot, so we were having fun with it on that. But it was a lot of fun for the live stream. Everyone had a good time. Everybody picked, what they thought they liked the best, and it was cool. So this next one we'll do the same thing, except I'll save it so people can watch it online. But it'll be completely blind. You won't know what's being sent to you. I've got hundreds of different Blancos that I could use, and so it was Travis. Yeah, Travis that was glitching. She says I was glitching. Yeah, his internet was running a little slow, so he kept freezing and glitching like Penelope from Sugar Rush. That's what Penelope. Yes, Vanellope. It's Penelope, I think, right? Isn't it Penelope, or is it Vanellope? I thought it was Penelope. But it's the glitcher from Wreck-It Ralph, the racing. Yeah, he sounded like Stephen Hawking. He had that robotic voice because it wasn't coming together correctly when he did it. So if you're interested in that, just send me a DM through Instagram letting me know that you're interested and your address. I'll pick 3 people. You do have to be a member of the YouTube channel. So if you're not a member, sign up. It's $10 a month. It helps support what I do. And that's one thing too. I don't get paid. I don't ask for money from the brands to do the reviews and to support them. I do it for free. They just have to send me a sample bottle, a full 750 milliliter brand new bottle of all the expressions they want reviewed, and I review it. I don't charge for it. My reviews, all my content and stuff is done as unbiased, completely fair and equal, and completely my opinion. That's all. It's easy. I don't accept payments from brands. If a crappy brand says, hey, we'll give you, money to do a video and talk about our tequila, I'd say, sorry, I don't accept money, but if you want me to do a fair and honest review, send me a bottle of all 3 of your expressions or 4, depending on what you have, and I'll review the whole entire line and let people know. And if it's good, and if I like it and I can recommend it, then we'll put it on ferment and still to make it easy for people to get it. And that's how it works. So yeah, I do talk a lot about the stuff on Ferment and Still. It's because I picked it to be there, so I should. It's not like Ferment and Still buys stuff and then says, hey, you got to push this because we need to sell it. No, they wait until I say, hey, I like this, can you order it? And then I find out from the brand who the distributor is and say, you can order it for us from this distributor. We want so many cases, and please order it because I just did a review on it. It's really good and people are going to want to buy it, and they can. So so that's how it works. It's Vanellope. Okay, I didn't know that. I'll have to watch it again. I always thought it was Penelope, but thank you. I'll check it again. Vanellope. That's interesting. It makes sense because it is candy, it is Sugar Rush, and she's driving through Candyland and baked goods and stuff. So it makes sense. Totally makes sense. All right, so what else did I want to talk about? We had this. We did the 6-barrel Añejo coming out. We did the Dia de los Muertos repo. We're in the process of getting this bottled, so this is going to be really good. I have another Blanco that I worked on that's going to be coming in. This is from Viva Mexico. 46%. It's amazing. It's really good stuff. We're getting it bottled. The importer, the distributors agreed to bring it in, so we should have that coming in soon. It's a really good Blanco, and it's going to be fairly inexpensive. I'm sure it's not going to be. They're not super high priced. If you haven't tried Viva Mexico before, it's a really good brand, solid brand. Pricing is very reasonable. I recommend trying it because I love it. When I always go to the Vivanco's 1414. When I go to Mexico and hang out with Sergio Cruz and Sergio Vivanco, and I always love. We always go out for lunch when we're together, and I always go to Carnitas Jaime across the way, and then we always just sit there and drink Viva Mexico Repo, which is really good. I love their Repo. It's a solid tequila brand. So if you haven't tried that, try that. But we're going to do this special Blanco. It's a special reserva from Viva Mexico. It's Penelope Von Sweets, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was Penelope. But Travis says it's Vanellope. So I don't know. I'll have to watch the movie again. I'll fire it up with my daughter and check. But I thought it was Penelope. And it's Sarah Silverman, I think, that does her voice, which she's a funny comedian. Highly enjoyable. So so we got that coming. That should be coming on its way soon. I just found out I'm getting some samples of Atanasio to do the review. The new Origin Blanco is coming. So I'll do a review of that as well. Primo, it just came out with a single barrel Repo. They only released three single barrels. So it was Love Scotch had a barrel, which was picked by Jay Bear, which picked by Jay Bear means they gave him a barrel. Moreno's got another barrel, and then Old Town's got another barrel. Old Town is basically the only one that's got it online. I would personally not buy it and wait, because the regular Repo's coming out at the beginning of the year of next year. So just wait for the regular Repo. Don't get caught up in FOMO. And Old Town, I guess, jacked the prices up on it, which it's like, yeah. I hate it when people do that, because they're the only ones that have it now. So if you want it, you're gonna have to pay for it, type of thing. So that's what it's turning into, whether it's Penelope or Vanellope. All right. We'll accept both. I'll watch the movie and see what they say. I mean, it's okay. It could be Penelope. It could be Vanellope. It's both fine. We're not going to start a fight about it. Come on. There's so many other things. Let's show love and respect for everybody, and let's not argue over silly things like a character in Wreck-It Ralph. Okay. All right. So, what else? I'm going to start a new series this week, and I think it's something that needs to be done because no one's been really doing it a lot. So I'm going to start a new series this week on budget brands, and I'm going to start doing reviews of some budget brands that are out there that a lot of people don't talk about. And so I'm going to put together, and it's going to be under a playlist on the Tequila Hombre channel. So people can just go to the budget brand playlist and get reviews of the budget brands. And I'm going to revisit some of the old ones that I visited before. And so I figure this is something that people kind of want, with the prices being crazy as they are. So I'm going to do some reviews on some budget brands. I got some budget brands that are sending me some samples to do reviews of. And I've got some that I have that I haven't opened up from before that are here. So we'll visit some of those and give you guys some ideas of some other things to look at. Because there's some other budget brands that are actually quite good. And there's some little background information that a lot of people don't know about them, where they come from and who brings them in and stuff. So we'll give you all that kind of interesting details on stuff like that. And give you some budget options where if you're getting tired of paying high prices for stuff, you can get some inexpensive stuff that's going to still be a good sipper as well as a mixer. So it's it's good. What are your thoughts on Cascanes? Would you rank them in brands? What are your thoughts on Cascanes? Where would you rank them in brands? Brands. I don't understand the brands things. I don't typically like to rank things. I'd like Cascanes when it was from their original distillery. It was good. It was really good. As a matter of fact, I helped really kind of blow the brand up. My video that I did saying that I liked it better than Fortaleza was big for them. A lot more people started exploring and checking out the brand, and I used to do a lot of stuff with them. I created the Hoven, the first Hoven. I still have bottles of it here. But John Paul Fortunati used to come to my house and bring stuff for us to sample, and then he would go through my display cabinets trying tequilas he's never had before, and then smoking my cigars and stuff. And he'd spend the whole day here. So I know the brand really well. I know the people there really well. John Paul also spent 10 days with me in Mexico, traveling with me to distilleries to visit distilleries and stuff. I introduced them to a lot of the big master distillers out there. The first single barrel repo, my group, the TBAC, we had that. I also was the one that introduced the world to the first single barrel Extrañejo, which is why they gave me bottle number 1 of that, which they sold directly through their website. So I liked their old stuff. I haven't had any of their new stuff. They won't send it to me for me to do a review. And when I keep asking people why are they not going to send me any samples and they're sending them to everybody else, the answer that I got back was because they're afraid that I'm not going to like it. So that's what brands do when they have stuff that they think I'm not going to like and I'm going to bash. They won't send me samples, which is fine, because I don't want to drink stuff that the people that make it don't think is as good or good. So I haven't had the new stuff, so I can't comment on it because they haven't sent me any samples. And so I'm waiting. If they send me samples, I'll gladly do a review. But I haven't gotten any. So I can't comment on it personally. I do know they have their influencers that they have relationships with, that they send bottles to, and you can see what they say. Whether they're unbiased or not is a whole different story, and I can't comment on whether they are or not. So it's, a matter of whether you trust them or not. Personally, I wouldn't. So until I get a sample, I'm not going to say either way what I think of the new stuff. I think that's fair, right? Wow, that's weird. So they must have changed something then. Yeah, something changed. I've had some people tell me that it's not as good as it used to be, but I can't comment on that because I haven't tried it personally, and I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to say anything, until I actually try it. I'm not going to pass judgment until I try it. So, I figure if they want me to try it, they'll send me some bottles to do a review. If they don't want me to, because I'm not biased and I'll give them an honest review, then for me that says that, how they feel about it, which they weren't afraid to send me bottles before. I used to get them all the time. All the new batches. You see all the Cascanas reviews I've done. I did a lot. I used to get, anytime the new stuff came out, they sent me samples, but I don't know. That's just, they haven't done it since they moved. And the thing is too, is I actually referred them to their new distillery. The 10 days I spent with them in Mexico, we went to T-Tap and we met the Partida brothers and the master distiller there. They had us taste through Inspiro, and that was in the process of coming out with Ana Romero Mena working on it. And we spent a couple hours, I think, there. And I even have pictures. John Paul was there with me. And so when John was talking to me, he said, we're looking at moving distilleries, but we can't figure out. I'm like, well, why don't you just do T-Tap? Because they have a Taona there. They've got brick ornos. They have autoclave. They have everything. And so he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. So then he contacted them, and they worked on doing some batches and stuff together to get the flavor profile that they were looking for and stuff, whatever. And then they finally decided to make the change from where Atanasio was made, because they were making it at Atanasio, but it was all their own people that were making it. Atanasio people were not involved in it at all. They were not involved in it at all. But they would go and watch and try to copy what some of the stuff that Cascanas was doing. And Chico was the master distiller for them and for Atanasio, but they took Chico with them to the new place. So Chico isn't working with Atanasio anymore. So, Yeah, they changed distilleries. They try to keep the processes all the same, but it's different equipment and stuff, and I don't know what they're doing differently. So, but I haven't gotten any samples, and I'm waiting for them if they send them. So, is there a budget extra añejo and does it? Yeah, absolutely. Here, look, hold on. There you go, right here. Budget extra añejo. Focus. Come on, this camera just wants to focus on my face all the time. Let me see. There you go. San Matias Gran Reserva. Beautiful. Beautiful extra añejo. French oak, 3 years, 36 months. $55. Not going to get any more budget than that. You can find it as low as 40 at some places. So it's really good. There's no additives in it. I know San Matias inside and out. They don't use additives. French oak goodness. It's beautiful. It's really nice. Everybody that I've referred to for this that's looking for something, even for people that are coming from Clase Azul and stuff, it's an amazing extra añejo. It was the first extra añejo to hit the market. So there's been a lot of talk about influencers recently in the Discord. Curious if there are any other tequila reviewers out there that you think are also reputable or unbiased. Honestly, I don't know. I can't comment on that. There's one of the reasons why I got into doing reviews in the first place. You guys want to hear my story? I'll tell you my story. You want to know my story? I can give you my story if you're interested. If you want to listen to it, I'll tell you my story and how I got into this. Budget añejo is San Matias Gran Reserva. Fantastic, and especially at the cost, $50. Yeah, it's great. You can't beat it for an extra añejo. It's great to bring to a party for people that like Clase Azul. If you want to introduce them to non-additive tequilas, it's fantastic. I've always really liked this. We're gonna do 2 barrel buys from the Gran Reserva extra añejo for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective. And I picked 2 different barrels, 2 completely different, so you can see the different flavor profiles that you can get from them. And they're going to be 90 proof, so it's going to be higher proof than this. This is normally 40%, 80 proof. So the ones we'll get is going to be 90 proof, higher proof. But they're really, really good, and I'm looking forward to bringing that in for the collective. It's going to be fantastic. I recently tried Santa Leza Repo. I thought it was fantastic. I believe you gave it 4 out of 5 agave. Great call. Yeah, thank you, Moises. I think so too. Yeah, I think Santa Leza is great. They did a good job with that. That's done at Bonanza, the distillery right next door to Casa San Matias, which was run by Carmen's son. They did a really good job with that one. I enjoyed it. I think it's a really good, and I'm glad you enjoyed it too, and it's not just me saying that. So tell us the story. Okay, tell us the story. All right, I'll tell you a story. All right, so this is my story. And people sometimes want to know why I have all the hate that I do, right? People don't know me. They don't know me. A lot of people that hate me have never met me, and they don't know me. So let me give you a little history about myself, right? I started out as a home brewer, brewing beer. And I'm the kind of guy that when I get into something, I research it, I connect with people, I learn. I love science, and I love getting into details about things. And I used to brew my own beer. I was a national champion home brewer. And I did that in a matter of 3 years. Not only that, I formed a homebrew club called the Fear No Beer Brew Club. And we went from just being me to 100 members in a matter of 6 months. We got big. And I used to brew beer in my garage. And my nickname amongst all of my neighbors and friends and stuff was Beer Man. And so that's where the Tequila Hombre came kind of from too. So I was called the beer man. I brewed, but the reason why I started winning all the ribbons and stuff that I did at the fairs and competitions for my beers was because I was meticulous with details. Fermentation is huge for any distilled spirit or any fermented spirit. Fermentation is where a lot of your flavor comes from. And I learned a lot about fermentation and microbiology. I learned a lot about temperature control and how to get the best results and stuff from it. And I was considered a top expert in home brewing amongst the homebrew community. I was a certified beer judge too. I went through sensory training where I learned how to taste for off notes, things that shouldn't be there in beers, look for faults, as well as look for the characteristics that are supposed to be there. And so I used to go to fairs and competitions and sit down as on the judging panel and judge people's beers. And of course, no matter what the beer was like, you had to drink it. And I've put some really awful beer in my mouth that I didn't really want to, but I had to. And then you want to give constructive feedback on where they went wrong in the process. So I knew the processes inside and out. I knew what caused off tastes, off flavors, and what they could do to fix it because of all my experience in brewing beer. So then I got a little tired of beer all the time, and I was getting a huge beer belly from drinking beer all the time. I still would have cigars and stuff then too. But I moved to bourbon because I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was just outside of Kentucky. We used to drive across the river all the time into Kentucky, and I grew up with bourbon. My father was a Jack Daniel's drinker, so I used to drink Jack Daniel's too, and I was a bourbon drinker. But I found bourbon was a little rough for me. I used to get indigestion and stuff, a heartburn from it all the time, and I really didn't enjoy it that much. And then we had a timeshare in Mexico. We go to Cabo with my family, and we were out tasting tequilas, and I was like, oh, okay, this stuff's really good. And of course, the first tequila I tried myself, or that I thought I liked, was Cava de Oro, which was, additive stuff. So I didn't know that. I had Cava de Oro, and I had a couple other ones that were on the sweeter side. But I'm like, hey, this is really good. So then I started exploring tequila and learning more about it. And so then when I did that, I was on the Facebook communities and stuff. But I also would reach out to the producers directly through Facebook and through WhatsApp, and started connecting with them and learning about what they're doing and their flavors. And so then I said, hey, I want to find a way I was seeing these barrel picks happening. And I'm a kind of guy, when I get an idea, I just kind of work on making it happen. I don't wait for people to do it for me. I'm a go-getter. I work on getting it done. And I saw that they were doing these single barrel buys, and that they were only through stores. And so I mentioned it in the Facebook group. I said, hey, I think would anybody be interested in forming a group where we get these barrels for the group of us aficionados, and we share it amongst the group, and we work on finding a licensed retailer that will handle it for us and then ship it out for us. And a lot of people on the group are like, that people have tried, better people than you have tried. Mark, you're never going to do it. And I don't like people telling me I can't do something, and then I'm never going to do it when my DM box in Facebook is opening up and a guy's saying, I can help you do this. Let's do it. And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to do this. And so I actually had a Sazerac rep that was messaging me saying, let's do this. And so I said, okay. And so I created a group on Facebook. It was called the Tequila Barrel and Agave, Tequila Barrel Collective, TBC. And a lot of people from the Facebook group went and joined that group. And I was starting to get a lot of attention because we were going ahead and going to do barrels. And so I actually traveled to Mexico for the first time then. This was back in 2016, I think. Traveled to Mexico, met with Casa San Matias. We picked a barrel of Corazon Blanton's, a barrel of Corazon Eagle Rare, and we did a barrel of the Ground Reserva too, but it was the regular 80 proof. All single barrels. I picked those, and then they said to me, they go, hey, you know, we really love what you're doing, and we really love your passion stuff for tequila, so you do want to be the first to pick 2 barrels of the Raysol 10-year 20th anniversary. And I said, absolutely, yes. So we put that together too. And so then when we're sitting in the group, and I'm talking about the collective, I noticed there was nobody doing good reviews, video reviews. No one. The only reviews you could see is somebody that would do a shot and go, ooh, that's really smooth. And that was like all there was. And so I'm like, okay, I can do this. I've got a broadcasting background. I can record these reviews, and I can probably do a better job of giving tasting notes and more information than somebody saying, yeah, we're going to review this Grand Reserva today. Oh yeah, that's smooth. That's really good. You should pick it up. I'm like, this doesn't tell me anything. I don't know what they're talking about. So I started my channel and said, okay, I'm starting the Tequila Hombre channel in my Facebook group. And people are like, no, don't do it, Mark. You should learn from us. We're the people that have been drinking tequila for 20 years. You should learn from us. Your channel is not going to be successful. You're not going to be able to do... People are not going to want to watch your videos. You're not going to know what you're going to talk about. You're going to be a detriment to the tequila industry. And like I said, I don't like people telling me I can't do something or I'm going to fail. That's motivation for me to keep doing it and to be successful. And so I said to them, sorry, I'm not listening to you. Who are you? Okay, so you've been drinking it for 20 years. I don't know you. No one has said to me, you should listen to this guy because he's an expert. You're a self-proclaimed expert. I'm going to do these reviews and I'm going to learn on my own. You know, so if you look at my first reviews, they're awful. I was nervous. I was nervous because I was getting inundated with a bunch of hate. And so you see me, I had braces then. I had glasses. I was very stiff because I was nervous that I was going to get lambasted by people for putting myself out there. But people were very receptive, and which was great. And a lot of the brands would then message me and say, we love your content. We love what you're doing. We want to support you. We're going to send you a brand to do these reviews. And so I started doing it, and the channel started growing. And I kept to it. And a lot of brands, one of the things they tell me they like is the fact that I don't charge them. I don't charge them. They want a review, they send me bottles. They get a review. And they get priority. If they send me bottles, they get priority over the stuff that I buy. So people are like, well, Mark, how did you fund all this stuff in the beginning? I was a wedding and event DJ business. I ran my own wedding and event DJ business for 30 years. And I was spending my own money. I was spending my own money on my travel to Mexico. I didn't charge for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective then. And I was spending my own money on my bottles to do reviews. I was buying them to get when I first started. The first 2 years, I've spent $15,000 a year of my own money in putting together the buys for the Tequila Barrel and Agave Collective and for my tequila. I think the second year was even topped. Second year was over 20 grand. I've spent of my own money investing in the stuff to do these reviews, to do these things for you guys, and to get the word out about the brands. Now I get a lot of brands that send me stuff, so I don't have to spend as much, but I still have to pay for my flights to Mexico, and I still have to pay for some of the stuff that I get that people want reviews of that that aren't going to be given to me. So I still spend quite a bit of money. But after $20,000 of my own money, the second my wife's like, hey, okay, you spent 20 grand on tequila this year and you're traveling stuff. You have to find a way to try to cut that down or we're going to have some issues. 20 grand's a lot of money to spend in a year on tequila and stuff. So I said, okay, so, you know, I finally got the channel monetized and I do the memberships. And so the memberships help. They help out a lot. And me, so So those of you that are members of the YouTube channel, thank you. I appreciate you, because it's you that's funding me. It's you that allows me to do this. And to keep this unbiased and not asking money from brands or or for people to sponsor things. It's you guys that allow me to do that. Sorry, I'm having a slight asthma attack and I don't have my inhaler with me. So, and then I decided that I was going to move the collective to Discord, because I had it originally on Facebook. And people weren't checking the Facebook group, and then I was sending emails out, and people were complaining they weren't getting the emails. So for me, the Discord was the best way to go, because everything's posted there. All you have to do is check the Discord to get all the information on what's going on, as well as it allowed us to be more of a community. So I charge $10 a month for that, and that helps fund my travel, helps fund what I do as well, but also it gets people that really want to participate in the buys there, and not people that are just there wasting time watching to see what's going on, or wanting to copy or see what we're buying so they can try to get stuff too. It stops that by putting a $10 fee per month on it. So the people that are, we have over 120 members on Discord now, or close to that. It's a great group of people. We have some conversations going on all the time. People are sharing stuff, which is great. I answer questions on there a lot when people tag me and ask, and then I also post like updates when I get updates on brands and stuff. So that is, and so now here I am. I have still people that are angry with me because I said no way on not doing the channel and doing the collective. People were telling people in the beginning of the collective that the barrels were fake and I was going to take people's money. But the funny thing is, I was not accepting any money from people directly. It was all going to the retailer. They're paying the retailer. The retailer was sending the bottles. But people were telling people that I was a con man. I was going to steal their money. They weren't ever going to get their bottles. And then when people would post back, well, I got my bottles. I got mine. Everyone's like, I got mine. He's definitely made whatever he committed to, he delivered. And that pissed them off even more. And so I've got a bunch of haters that just don't like me, which is fine. People always say if you don't have haters, you're not doing things right. So that's my story. So here I am today. I'm still going. I still do the reviews. I still run the Discord. Some people are mad at me too, because people think that just because you have, you give them an avenue to express opinions, that they get to express their opinions no matter what, whether it's offensive or whether it's hurtful, or whether whether it causes problems and causes trouble. And that's not the case. I'm Gen X, and I don't have to put up with that. Okay? I don't put up with that. I don't take that from my 15, 16-year-old daughter, and I won't take it from anybody in any of my groups. And so I run a very tight ship. I don't allow people to insult each other. I have very little tolerance for what I call assholery. And so when someone starts crossing the line of being a total, I eliminate them. And that upsets a lot of people too, because they think, hey, if somebody posts a bottle of something and I don't like it, I should be able to go on there and tell them they suck and that they don't like good tequila and they don't know what they're talking about. And I should be allowed to express it whether everybody likes it or not. And that's not the case. That's not about community. That's like running into a firehouse or a theater and yelling fire, right? When there's a bunch of, you have the right to do that, but there's a penalty that you pay for doing it, right? You can get arrested and charged with a crime for causing commotion and maybe somebody getting hurt. I don't allow that. So I sometimes end up having to be like the adult. And when your parents used to punish you for something, you always said, I hate you, I hate your guts, but you didn't really mean it. These people are like that. They're like children. So unfortunately, I have to deal with that too. So you'll hear people say bad things about you. He doesn't like to hear alternate opinions. That's not true. If you want to express an alternate opinion, but you do it in a manner that's mature, and we can engage in a healthy conversation, I'm open to it. But the time that you start insulting people and becoming obnoxious with your opinion, that's where I draw the line. And I think most people agree with that. All right, so hey, Hombre, thoughts on Patron being endorsed as additive free by the CRT? I don't have any problems with that. I love the fact that the CRT is getting into it, because they're the ones that can do it. They're the ones that should be doing it. They're the ones that are there, present when every batch is made. They get a sample from every batch. And I'm glad that they're doing it. So I'm all for it. If they want to put their name on it saying it's additive free, that's fine. And Patron probably is additive free on some of their stuff. Some of their stuff, maybe not so much. Everyone gets caught up in the additives, you know. This, I'm sorry, you guys, this is a bottle of additives. If it's aged, it's got additives in it. Now, it may not be additives that were added, you know, by hand and measured out, but by putting wood in here, you're adding additives to this. And that's a lot of things. That's one of the things too. The additive thing kind of, it's kind of entertaining. It's what you want to avoid is the additives that, like the vegetable glycerin and stuff like that, where it's overly sweet and you don't get the good agave flavor. But people will say like, hey, yeah, I just tried this, like, for example, number 2 from 123 Organics. It's very complex flavor profile. There's agave there, there's cinnamon, there's like Mexican flan-ish kind of flavor to it, caramel, vanilla. I mean, it's got a nice flavor profile. It's toasted oak. It's not charred, it's toasted, and it uses brand new barrels. So it's got a really rich flavor profile to it. And people keep saying, are you sure there's no additives in it? And it's like, yeah, there's no additives in it. If the only thing you taste is cupcakes, vanilla, and it's real gooey and syrupy, and it's just caramel and vanilla, and you're not tasting anything else, and it's super like over the top, then chances are it's got additives in it. And I even did an additive test where you can test it in your kitchen to see. And that's what the CRT does when they do a vial, though. They don't do it in a pan. And they see what residuals are left. Because everything else comes from a still, it's got to evaporate and then recondense. And so if the stuff that you have doesn't evaporate, it didn't come from the still, it was added afterwards. So you will get wood stuff in there, but it doesn't taste the same as the gelatinous vegetable glycerin and stuff. So if you haven't seen my additive thing on there on how to do an additive test at home, you can do it yourself and test it. But a lot of people get all upset about additives, you know, and try to accuse things of being additives when I could be sitting there, even brands on the additive free list could be putting additives in their tequila, and it's not detectable if it's not one of the main smoothing additives. The smoothing additives are the ones that the vegetable glycerin, the simple syrup, the 4 main calming, they call them calming or smoothing additives. Those are the ones that you can test for. Flavor additives, you can't test for it, because the same thing that's in this wood is the same thing that's in the flavoring additives. So I could put vanilla extract in here into a tequila, and you couldn't test it to say firmly that I put vanilla flavoring in it. You can't. It's impossible, because it's the same components are there naturally. So all it'll say is, yeah, it's affirmative, there's vanilla in there. Well, there's vanilla that comes from wood, and you can actually, when you buy your barrels, you can pick wood from the lumber company that you buy your barrels from and say, I want a certain batch of wood that's got high in vanillin, because I want more of the vanilla notes. And I'll put a picture together. I'll post on an Instagram of where you can actually see from the barrel suppliers that the tasting notes and stuff that you can get from the wood that you buy from them. They actually will break it down by toast and what kind of flavor profile you can expect from it. And some of you that participated in in the collective we did stave buy, where we did wine barrel staves. They got to pick different toast levels for the different flavor profiles that they wanted. And I sent out the paperwork that showed him the percentages and stuff. And so there's like vanilla in naturally in wood and in agave. It's a natural compound, but that's what they use in vanilla extract. So it's literally undetectable. You wouldn't be able to tell by doing a test if it's been aged. Now, there could even be vanilla in agave. So you could have a vanilla flavor coming from an agave because vanillin is a natural substance that can be found in plants. So the whole additive thing, people get crazy about it. Don't. Really, seriously. It's just, the way you should gauge it is, look, if it's super sweet, over the top sweet, where all you get is a cloying vanilla and caramel note, like Cava de Oro or Additivo, then you know there's adding flavors in it, and don't buy it. If it's super sweet, don't buy it. But if you like the flavor, if it's complex, if you're getting vanilla, if you're getting caramel, vanilla, you're getting agave, and you're getting other stuff in there, then chances are it's not additives. And if you can taste the difference from one bottle to the other, if you do a side-by-side from two different batches and they taste different, definitely no additives. One of the reasons why tequila brands use additives is so they get a consistent flavor profile from batch to batch. That's the only way they can do it, is by using additives and altering the flavor. But it also allows them to save bad batches, so they don't have to waste batches and stuff. So while I don't like additives in my tequila, I've gotten to the point where I can taste whether there's additives in the tequila or not. At least the calming additives, right? The stuff that we're most concerned about. If they put a little extra vanilla in it, as long as it's not over the top vanilla and it doesn't taste like I'm biting into a vanilla cake, who cares, honestly? Because it's just the same stuff that the barrel's putting in there. Now, if you have a Blanco that's over the top vanilla, all right, we got some problems here because there's not that much vanilla in agave. It might have a little hint of vanilla coming from it, but it's not going to be over the top vanilla. And if it's over the top vanilla and sweet, chances are they put glycerin and other sweeteners in it too, and that's not what I want. I don't like really sweet tequila. I like a really robust, rounded flavor profile where agave's there, and on the aged spirit, it's got to be agave with wood and vanilla and caramel and butterscotch and stuff like that, depending on what kind of wood I use. So does that make sense? So I know people use the additive thing as a marketing tool, and it's helped with marketing for some organizations, which is great. I mean, anytime that some of these little brands can get more exposure, I think it's a good thing. But is it really that bad? It's really not that bad of a thing. It's as simple as if it's overly sweet and tastes cupcakey and tastes, over the top, cloyingly sweet. You don't like it, don't drink it, because it's probably got additives in it. But if you enjoy the flavor, don't sit there and question whether it's got additives in it. Drink it. People punish themselves. Like, I really like this, but I'm getting strong vanilla notes and strong, caramel. So it must have additives in it. But it's not the case, because each barrel that you get is going to have different amounts of vanillin and stuff in it. And when you toast the wood, it caramelizes the vanilla, so it gives it that caramel note. It could also give chocolate if it's charred, or even chocolate from toasted notes too. From it, it can give you all different kinds of flavors from a single barrel. I've had some barrels that I've tasted out of, because I do barrel picks, right? So I taste things straight out of the barrel. So there's no additives if you're tasting it. If you're going up to the barrel and they're pulling the bung out and they're pulling samples out and putting it in a bottle, and then you're sitting down, there's no additives. They won't put additives inside a barrel. There's no additives in those. And I've tasted some that were really rich in vanillin and chocolate. Some of you guys, if you bought that Ocho that we had, the single barrel Ocho that we did for the collective, that was really good. And there was a lot of vanilla and chocolate and caramel notes that came through from that barrel. And that was one of the best single barrels from Ochos that I have had with that single barrel añejo. And those of you that bought it, I'm sure if some of you are watching right now, you can attest that that was an amazing flavor profile from it. Lots of caramel, vanilla. The agave was still there in the front, but it had lots of vanilla, caramel, and chocolate notes to it. Highly enjoyable. Extremely good. It sold out in like a week. The whole entire barrel. It went quick. Once people got it and tried it, they came back and bought 4, 5, 6 more. It's because of the special barrel, and that's where single barrels come in. Single barrels, each single barrel is going to be completely different. So you try a single barrel of our El Tesoro Lafroig single barrel versus one from Total Wine or from Old Town. They're all going to taste completely different. They all have different amounts of vanilla in it, as well as other compounds that add the flavoring notes to the tequila, the different flavor compounds. So they're all going to taste different. So it's just a matter of finding the ones. When a brand does a single barrel offering, they go through and they taste a bunch of their barrels and they go, all right, this will work good as a single barrel because it's pretty rich and complex. This one's good too. This one not so good. We'll blend this one with another one. And they go through and they taste them all and they pick which ones they're going to blend. And they pick like the really good ones and say, we'll do single barrels on these. And then they offer them for single barrels. So I've tasted a bunch straight out of the barrel. I know what it tastes like. They can be have really rich vanilla flavor to them and caramel and chocolate without any additives being added. It happens. So teach us how to taste. Name 5 generally available tequilas, and we'll all taste with you live as you teach us how to discern flavor. Okay, well, actually, if you go to the Hombre Cave, I did a masterclass series on developing your palate. Go through the class. A lot of people did. I had probably, I think, 10 people that were doing it with me. I did a class on how to develop your palate, because you got to develop your palate first. And then we can start doing some group tastings on Instagram where I can bring 3 other people on and we can kind of taste together on things. I'll tell you what to buy. But we have to make sure when you do that we are all buying from the same batch. It's important because each batch can be different. So we can do it off, we'll pick like something from Ferment and Still, and we all order from Ferment and Still. That way we're getting the same batch of stuff. And then we're tasting the same thing. So that way we can relate to the flavors versus different batches from different times, because then we don't know, how prominent the flavors may be, depending from each different individual batch. So does that make sense? I agree that single barrel Ocho is phenomenal. I still have like 3 or 4 bottles left. Yeah, it's great. And that one was an exception. I mean, not everyone's like that. And so that one was really rich, vanilla and chocolate and caramel notes in it. It was great. I still have 3 or 4 bottles left. I bought two cases of it. After I tried the first one, I was like, wow, this is by far the best single barrel añejo I've had from Ocho. And so it when people started drinking it and tried it, I even think when I reviewed it, I said it was really good. It sold out. It sold out in record time. But each barrel is different. So when you can see single barrels, just because you picked up a single barrel from Total Wine doesn't mean that all of them are going to taste like that. I've had ones from Total Wine that were awful, but tried one from another place that was exceptional. So it all depends on how good the person that did the barrel picking, or if they even did a pick instead of the brand just sending them a barrel. For me, I handpick all of our barrels for the collective. I go and I sample them. I require samples and I pick all of them. As a matter of fact, if you guys want to watch the process, this weekend I'm going to do Instagram Live where I'm going to be tasting through some single barrels to pick maybe 1, possibly 2 single barrels for the collective. I'm going to be doing it with Siempre Tequila. So watch on Instagram. Go, if you're not already following me on Instagram, go follow on Instagram and look for the live stream this weekend where I'm going to be doing some sample tasting for single barrel picks. So you'll get to see an idea of how I go through the process. So will you review the new absolutely, yeah. We're getting it in Ferment and Still. not going to probably be here till December. I wouldn't hold your breath seeing it any sooner. I hope it does get here sooner. But the rep for Samson and Surrey has said he's going to let us know as soon as it lands, and then we'll get. We always get a pretty good allocation of that stuff, so we'll have it for the collective members first on ferment and still, and then if we have more than what the collective members buy, then it'll go public. That's the way we handle the allocated stuff. It's my way of saying thank you for the collective members for supporting me and what I do. And I'm going to do some for the YouTube members as well. Some stuff where I'll just open it up for the YouTube members first. But also the YouTube members get to do the blind challenges with me. They're the only ones that get to do that. I don't pick collective members, but there are some YouTube members that are members of members of both of them. And for those people that do that, thank you so much. I do appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you guys that come watch and comment and get involved in the Tequila Hombre community. I really do appreciate you guys. And I want to make a solemn promise to you that I will never do anything that guides you on the wrong path or tell you something that I don't 100% believe in or will back up and stand behind myself. Never. No matter what anybody tells you, I will never do that. And the people that have been with me and know me the longest will tell you that I'm that kind of guy. I will never do that. I will never, ever do anything to not be 100% honest with you guys. That's just the kind of person I am. That's the kind of belief system I was raised with. I don't rip people off. I deliver things that I promise, and I stick by my word, and I'm completely unbiased and unbuyable. And it helps too that I have a really nice sugar mama. Just don't let her hear me say that. I love my wife. She's amazing, and she backs my hobby 100%, even though she doesn't like you guys can't see this, but inside here, all you can see are these two bottles here, these two shelves. There's another shelf right here filled with mezcal and tequilas on the lower shelf. I have the closet of mystery over here, I call it. It's got all these shelves filled with bottles of tequila. And then, well, let me see if I can show you this. Let me see. Is this camera working? It says it's on. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's turned. That's not that one. That one. Oh, that's that one. Okay. But let me see. It should be looking at that. Humidor. Let me see. Where is it? I was going to use that one. I'll use this one here. Let me see if I can take this off. No, I can't take it off. I was going to show you what my floor looks like here. Let me see. Here. Now I can't take that off. This one's right here, but I don't know which camera it went. Oh, here it is, right here. Okay, here. I'll show you guys what my floor looks like. It's this here. Oh, it's not working anymore. Oh, it stopped working. Ah, don't do that. All right, I'll show you on another live stream. But my whole floor area here is covered in bottles. I got probably 150 bottles right here on the floor. And my wife walks in my office. She's like, "Oh God, why does anybody need this many bottles of tequila?" I'm like, "Because this is what I do." All right, let me see. Any unique Blanco tequilas you recommend? Because I don't know what to go for anymore. I've tried a lot of what you have recommended already. Have you tried the San Matias, the Blanco? Have you tried that one? That one's really good. It's different. That's what I like about it. All right, so this is sold now. We have it on ferment and still. It's the San Matias. It says Grand Reserve on it because this bottle came from Mexico. But the U.S. version, it doesn't say Grand Reserve on it. It just says San Matias. This part is missing right here. It just says Blanco. So they don't call it Grand Reserve here in the U.S. But what they do is when they make this Blanco, they rest it in barrels that were used for the San Matias Grand Reserva Extra Neo. So it gets that French oak kind of sweetness from the remnants of the Grand Reserva that's in there, and it's really different but really good. I enjoyed this. So but just remember when you buy it, the bottles in the US don't say Grand Reserva. See, this is it's all in Spanish because they gave me this in Mexico. So, and it's got the Mexican tax stamp on it. Where when you buy it in the US, get it in the US, there's no Mexican tax stamp on it. So, and then the US version, I asked them, I go, why doesn't the US version not say Grand Reserve? And they said, because the US version, we didn't put Grand Reserve on the bottle. But it's the same stuff. So if you buy it, you don't see Grand Reserve, don't freak out. It's the same stuff. It's just in the US, they just call it the Blanco. But try that one. It's really good. It's really different. You're really unique. I like it. Do you know how many bottles of Puntos will be sent this year to Cal? I don't know. No, I don't have an idea. I could probably find out from the Camarenas. I can ask him. I can find out, but I don't know right now. This is why we follow the Tequila Hombre, because you're honest. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Emilio? I can't read. Emilio. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I do, keep things honest, and I promise I always will. My reviews, like I said, I always try to deliver as much information as I can to you before I do the tasting, and then do the tasting, give you honest opinion on the tasting. A lot of times you see me too as this is my first sip of tequila, because I don't think doing a review when you're half schnookered is a good idea. It doesn't really lend itself to being a good review. Instead, it's a first impression, a real review of what I think about it. And then, yeah, I do follow up sometimes because things change, I think, over time. I'm going to be following up and doing, revisiting some of the older reviews that I've done and do updated reviews on them. So look for those as well. But all of them will be honest, straightforward. No hidden agenda. No, none of that stuff. I mean, people too are concerned about the fact that I'm associated with Ferment and Still. But, every one of these reviewers is associated with some store or another where they're getting money, kickbacks from Old Town, they're getting kickbacks from Sip Tequila, they're getting kickbacks from some liquor store. So it's not like I'm doing anything different than anybody else, although mostly my kickback is a 10% off discount on when I buy stuff. I buy all my stuff from Ferment and Still. So that's the difference. I'm not getting rich off of Ferment and Still by any means. I'm not getting rich at all because we have to buy inventory. They have to buy it every time somebody says, "Hey, we got a new." We have to buy cases of it. We have to have money to do that until it sells. So I'm not getting rich off of my association with Ferment and Still at all. I make more money off of people watching my YouTube videos and off of the memberships than I do off of anything I make off of Ferment and Still. So people can say what they want. It's not true. It's not true. I just shake my head and I laugh. My wife laughs too because she thinks some of it's just silly. But My reviews, everything that's on Ferment and Still, I picked. I told them to buy. I set that whole category up. That's one of the jobs they wanted me to do for them, is to curate the choices on there. So when you get on there, you can't find a bad bottle of tequila. You can't find a bad tequila on there that's additives or that's diffused. There's nothing on there that's that way. And all of them are basically based on my tastes and my experience with them and my knowledge of going to the distillery and knowing the master distiller or the brand owner. So you don't ever have to worry about buying an additive tequila when you're shopping on Ferment and Still. What does it matter your association with Ferment and Still? Whatever you enjoy, you offer up on Ferment and Still, so good for us. Exactly. That's the point. But a lot of people think it's lending to a bias, and that I'm biased because I have to sell it on Ferment and Still. Like, for example, the Carrera 54, right? I've been talking a lot about how much I love the Carrera 54. And if you ever known me, when I find something that I really like, I talk a lot about it. I've got a big mouth, and I love when I like something, I'll tell everybody about it. I'd say, oh my God, you got to try this. You got to check it out, because I get great joy when they try it and come back and go, you know, you're right. That was great. That was amazing. Thank you for referring me to it. I take great pride in that. I love that. It makes me happy when people come back and tell me that, hey, you recommended this. I tried it and I love it. You're absolutely correct. I love that. And so the Carrera 54, when I was working with them on it, and they sent that flavor profile, and I tried that flavor and I went, oh my God. Whoa. You know, and they were smiling. They're like, yeah, right? And I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And I actually brought somebody with me that was sitting next to me, another aficionado connoisseur that came with me on this trip. And he tried it and he was like, and he's experienced too. He's had lots of, he loves Blancos, had lots of, he's like, oh my God, this is unfreaking believable. And I said to him, look, I want to help the brand. And I know my partners and stuff will do this. We're going to buy the whole batch. Because one of the concerns that brands have when they create a batch is that it's going to sit at the distributor, right? The distributors typically takes terms on their payment for the brand. So if I buy a batch of tequila as a distributor from like, let's say the Camarenas for Carrera, they'll typically give me like 120 days to pay for it. And sometimes the distributor's like, okay, we'll see what we can sell within 120 days and we'll pay you for it. But hey, we may, you know, decide to send it back or this may be our last batch, right? Depending on how well it sells. Well, when a brand tells them we've already got the batch sold, we have somebody that's going to buy all of it, the distributor goes, really? Wow, okay. So they sent it to the distributor. We bought the whole entire batch. We bought all of it because it was so good. And I wanted people to get out and I wanted people to try it, have an avenue where they can buy it, where it can go everywhere and not have it sitting on the shelves of the distributor. This is stuff that's too good to be sitting on the shelves at the distributor, waiting for stores and stuff to buy it. So I said, I'm gonna get it, and I want to tell as many people about this as possible, so as many people can try it that want it, especially those that like Blancos. Because if they don't, you know, they're missing out on something spectacular. And so, yeah, I went overboard on the Carrera 54. I talked about it a lot. I still do, because I absolutely love that Blanco. It is unfreaking believable how good it is. I'm like addicted to it. Seriously. I have to go back and have some at least once or twice a week. It's so good. And if you've ever gone to a distillery and bitten into a piece of cooked agave, which I absolutely love. I always tell when I go to the distilleries, I always say, hey, are you producing today? And they'll go, yeah. Save some pieces of agave for me. They go, okay, yeah. We'll put some aside for you. Great, because it's so good. It's like vegetable candy. It's so good. I love that flavor. And this tequila, the 54, has the most flavor of like any Blanco I had. So yeah, I went crazy with it. I'm talking about it, but people always have to assume the worst because of it. It's not because I have to sell it. It's not because I was told, or I'm getting paid to do it. It's because I absolutely love that tequila. That's it. That's simple. My opinion, I love it. I want to share it with everybody. I want people to try it. I want people to like it. If you don't like it, that's fine. We're all different. That's great. I'm sorry you didn't like it. I love it. I'm sorry you didn't. But hey, that's okay though. We all like different things. But don't think worse about me because I'm really excited about something I like. I mean, I was the same way with some beers and with other things, other tequilas. G4, I went crazy over G4. You look at all my reviews on G4. They're all over the place on the channel. And that's one of the reasons why Felipe and I love each other so much, because he knows I love G4. I love it. I created the hashtag Felipe Friday in my tequila group, in my Facebook group, few years ago. I coined the Felipe Friday, and everybody used, because when we first got the 5-year extra Neo, I coined today's Felipe Friday so people would post their reviews about the 5-year extra Neo, which was phenomenal. We got the first 2 barrels of it. It was delicious. It was so good. So that's why. It's not because I have ulterior motives or I've got a back, objective that I'm trying to teach. It's because I freaking love it. That's why. What is that? All right, let's see. When you do a great job, you'll always get hate. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And I do. And that's fine. They can hate. For me, it's like it takes twice as much energy to hate somebody as it does to say, okay, and move on and learn to appreciate them for who they are. And I'm the kind of person that just loves to appreciate people for who they are until they get to the point where they're being disruptive. That 54, so I agree. It is so good. It's addictive. And I'm glad that people were finally not afraid to post about it, because some people are afraid of the hate that I'll get. It's funny. I have a friend of mine who's on the Reddit group, and I refuse to go there because people there are they're horrible. I won't waste my time there. But he's pretty well respected in the group, and I always get screenshots of things that happen, and there's people in there that if you post something about me, they will accuse you of being me and kick you out. I've had 2 people message me saying they were kicked out because they posted about the 54 and people thought that they were me in disguise. That's how crazy crap gets sometimes. I'm too busy to play games. I don't play games. I don't do stuff like that. I've got way too much stuff on my hands and not enough time to even get involved in that. But I find it hysterical that they're like that. And what my buddy always says is that I get to live rent-free in their heads. And it's fine. If they want to waste time hating people, it's their time. They can do what they want. I'm not a hater. You'll never see me talking bad about about people. I don't comment on their videos. I don't say bad things about people. Everybody's got their audience and people that respect them, and everybody does what they do. If you like Lucas, he's a great bartender. Great, watch Lucas. If you like the Collective guy, watch him. If you like Lou Agave, watch him. If you like the other bartender guy, watch him. If you like Jay Bear, watch him. If you like me and you want honest reviews with lots of detailed information, then please follow me and watch me, because I promise I will never steer you wrong. John Easton says, yeah, I agree. Travis is fantastic. In fact, I use it for mixers also, even though I probably shouldn't. And of course, it's great. I made a margarita with it, and you can still see the legs coming down the side of the glass from the tequila, even though it was mixed with lime and other things in there. So it's a solid tequila. Can you explain what Chato is in the world of mezcal, and what is a gold tequila? Chato is a kind of agave. It's not necessarily Weber Blue, but it's kind of like a form of espadín, and that's what the Caballito Cerrero used in one of their expressions. It's a type of agave. That's what it is. but it's a cousin, or it's related to espadín. And what is a gold tequila? Gold is typically a phrase used for like a mixto tequila that's kind of like a Joven, where they mixed a blonde or something else together. It's typically not considered a good quality tequila. I stay away from golds because they're typically tend to be mixtos that have been aged somewhat instead of 100% agave. So like Jose Cuervo Gold is a complete and total mixto that a lot of times they'll blend. You can blend aged stuff into the mixtos as well. For golds, it doesn't have to be aged a certain time period or whatever. The main aged ones are Blanco, Repo, Añejo, and Extra Añejo, and those are the ones that have the regulations in the normas for tequila. Golds are typically lower quality tequila. I would stay away from golds. All right, so we've had a good amount of time I think we spent here. Let's see, people messaging me. Oh, people are already messaging me about being on the blind panel. So if you're a member of YouTube and you want to be on the blind, send me a message to Instagram. And for those guys that were on the high proof blind, you can do it as well. And there's no limitations that you can only do one. So it all depends on how many people we get that are members that want to do it. So have you ever did a show notating the different tastes from a different agave plants? No, because it's different. I mean, you can't. It's like you can't say that all Weber Blue have these notes and all Tepestate have these notes, or all Tobolas have. It's different from the different regions and different ways they cook them and stuff. So it's going to be different. You can't really do that. I enjoy the Tapatio High Proof Blanco, so the Carrera 54 is next time. Yeah, you'd like it. I think you'd like it. Tapatio is a little different than it. It's I find Tapatio to be more like green pepper, bell pepperish flavor notes to it, and jalapeno too. Where I don't find that too much in the Carrera. The Carrera, really beautiful cooked agave note. I mean, super rich. It's an agave bomb. It's just got so much cooked agave flavor. It's ridiculous. Do you think other mezcals like Bacanora, Racia, and Soto will ever be popular enough to find them in liquor stores in the future? There's some liquor stores that carry them now. But do I ever see them being really popular? No. Now, I find it's really weird. A lot of people are afraid of the smoke that comes from the cooking on those. I'm trying to work on an experiment, and I want to do something, and I'm trying to work with a mezcalero on doing it, and we're trying to make it happen, but we'll see. But for example, here, this bottle here, which we sell on you can't see it because of the light here. Let me see. This La Luna Temporada de Lluvias. It's Tequiliana, it's Weber Blue Agave. So that's Weber Blue Agave. So that particular mezcal is basically an ancestral tequila. It's basically an ancestral tequila. It is a pechuga. They do put fruit in the secondary distillation on it. But it's basically an ancestral tequila. If this had said tequila on the label, we would have sold it out. But because it's a mezcal, we've had it for 2 years. But Cascoine does the same thing without the pomegranate and with using a different still and stuff, of course, and puts tequila on it and calls it Serra de Luz. They can't keep it. They can't keep it in stock, and people are paying ridiculous money for it. This tequila is a gem. I put this up against Serra de Luz any day of the week. It is phenomenal. It is really good. If you like Sarah de Luz, this has got like triple the flavor. Sarah de Luz was bland compared to this. But because this says mezcal on it, people are afraid. Because, you know, they may have tried like a Silencio or Del Mague Vita, which are super smoky, and they're like, I don't like mezcal because it's super smoky. That's not the case. Different mezcals have different levels of smoke, and you can find ones that are not smoky at all, where you get the really interesting flavors from the agave. Now, this has got Weber Blue Agave, so it's got a different flavor profile than what we're used to from tequila, but it's super rich. And this is like what tequila was like back before they started using steam generators and industrial boilers to make their tequila. This is a true ancestral tequila, but it can't be called tequila because they registered it through the CRM and not the CRT. Now, this distillery where they made this, which is in this Salvador Chavez's home area, is also a DO for tequila. So if they certified the distillery originally through the CRT, they could have called it tequila, and people would have been buying it as tequila. It's the same freaking thing. It's just because it was certified by the CRM, they have to call it mezcal. They can't call it tequila. But tequila is a mezcal, and people still can't get over that whole thing. So, well, thank you, Travis. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys, don't forget to click on the like. Give me a thumbs up for sharing my time with you. Hola, Mr. Mark. All is well. Carrera, my favorite one. Nice. I'm glad you like it, the one. I love it, too. It's my favorite. All right, so I've talked a lot, you guys. We're almost coming up to 2 hours. So I've got to go. I'm going to go watch my daughter play golf. So thanks for spending the time with me. I really loved hanging out with you guys today. If you're interested in getting on the panel for Instagram for doing the blind Blanco tasting, shoot me a DM through Instagram. But just know that it's going to be, if I hear it from enough people before this weekend, I'll send them out this weekend, and then we'll try to do the tasting. If everybody gets them, I don't see any problem why we can't do it like Friday. Let's shoot for Friday of next week. If we get enough people, I'll message you and let you know on the panel, and then we'll let you guys know on Thursday, so you guys can get ready for it on Instagram. And this time we'll save it on Instagram, okay? So you guys can watch. And like I always say, life is too short to drink bad tequila. So, hey, keep watching here, and I promise I will never steer you wrong. I will be 100% unbiased and give you my honest opinion on stuff, and I will never let you down, okay? That's my promise to you guys. Straight from my heart to you. And no better way to end anything either than saying salute, right? Salute, guys. Have a great afternoon, and we'll see you this weekend on